Step 1 to entering a dispatch is to add a customer. From the Dispatches tab, click on Add a Dispatch. You'll find the customer entry screen right here at the top. And before we get started, let me just mention that customers can be used a couple different ways. The main thing to remember is that the customer is the person that's paying the freight bill and will be receiving the invoice. So for example, if you're an independent carrier and whoever you want to send the invoice to would be your customer. So sometimes you might pick a load up from a customer, or you may deliver a load to a customer, or it could be a third-party customer like a broker. The other way it could be used is if you're an owner-operator and you maybe have your truck leased onto a carrier, then what you could do is you could put that carrier name in here and it would show all the revenues coming from that carrier. You could use that carrier as your main customer. So there's a couple different strategies you could use depending on your situation. But for now, let's just look at how to enter in a customer. The customer entry window here is a search window. The way it works is you type in the first 3 or 4 letters of the customer that you want to look up. Now, in the beginning, we don't have any customers, so we will create a new one. So choose Create New from the search drop-down window. When creating a new customer, the customer entry page will come up in a window like this. And simply enter in as much information here as you'd like to keep on your customer, but the required fields are the customer name and the city and the state. Everything else is just information for you to keep for your records for your address book. I'm just creating a plain customer. We use the name customer from the city of New York, New York. You could also enter in phone numbers and emails and contact information, but I'm just going to enter in the basics here. After entering this in, scroll to the bottom and click the Save button. Then your customer should appear here in the customer field. You'll see here the name of the customer and the city and state that they're from. Then that customer is permanently saved in your records under your address book. So then the next time you create a dispatch, when you come here, you'll be able to search by the name of the customer by typing in the first 3 letters of the customer, or you could search by the city. You could type in NEW for New York, for example, and it will search for all customers within New York, New York there. Step 2 for entering a dispatch is entering the driver. Driver is right here in the middle. This is also a search window. You can use the pull down tab here to select from your list of drivers and choose Create New to enter in a new one. This will work much like entering in a customer. It will open in the Add Driver window. I'm just going to enter in a John Doe driver. And we'll say he's from New York, New York also. Most of these fields are optional, but you will need to enter in at the minimum the driver name, the city, and the state that he's from. You can enter in his phone numbers and emails and stuff like that for additional information. But I'd like to call your attention to this section here at the bottom. First is we have several different pay options for the driver. You can choose to be on manual pay, pay per mile, or load pay percentage. If you choose the load pay percentage, you will have the option to enter in the percentage that you want to pay the driver. Now this will calculate the percentage based on the line haul rate of the loads. So in other words, the base amount only. If you have accessories such as fuel surcharges or detentions or different things, this won't apply to the percentage. Another option is to go with the pay per mile. Choosing pay per mile will allow you to enter in a pay per loaded mile and a different pay per empty mile. For example, if you wanted to pay 30 cents a mile for loaded miles and 15 cents a mile for empty ones, you could do it that way. All these miles would be calculated automatically using PC Miler based on the information that you enter into your dispatch. This information is not able to be edited, so if this is something that would be acceptable to use the standard miles from the program on PC Miler, which runs on Practical Miles, then this might be a good option for you. If neither one of those really fits your particular operation, then I would suggest using the manual pay. If you use manual pay, then the system won't do anything automatically. It'll simply give you a field on every dispatch to enter in how much you want to pay your driver. This gives the most flexibility. For example, you could run your own miles if it's a customer pay miles, or if it's a different type of percentage, or if you pay the driver by the hour. There's a lot of different types of operations out there, and the manual pay gives the most flexibility. Another example would be if you're an owner-operator and you pay yourself. And once again, you could use the manual pay. You could simply choose not to enter in any driver pay and just leave it blank. And this would opt you out of the automatic driver pay features, and then you simply will, take in your revenues and subtract expenses, and what's left will be what's left. The other things on here to notice are the license expiration, the medical cards expirations. When you enter in these will give you alerts when they're expiring, and the hire dates and termination dates are just there for your own records. If you enter in a termination date, then the driver would no longer be on your active list, and you won't see it then on your active list when you're creating new dispatches. However, it will save the dispatches that this driver already ran in the system in your history. After getting things set the way you want, simply scroll to the bottom and click Save. You'll then see your driver's name displayed in the driver. If you check on the pull-down menu, you should see him in the pull-down menu, so the next time all you will have to do is click on his name and move along. Step 3 for creating a dispatch is to enter a truck. After entering your driver, come to the truck selection. You can use this pull down arrow and you'll see the list of all the trucks you have entered. To create a new truck, simply select Create a New Truck. This will open up the truck entry window, much like entering a customer or driver. Enter in something for a truck number. You can enter in whatever you want here. The unit type, truck or trailer, miscellaneous. Trucks are the only things that show up in the dispatch window. However, you can keep track of trailers and other types of equipment if you want to keep track of maintenance records or those kind of things. But when creating a dispatch, the only thing that will show up in the dispatch window is a truck. All of these fields for your truck are optional. They're for your own personal records. So you can enter a VIN number, a make, a model, and so on and so forth, the year. But this information is all optional. I would just like to call your attention to the items here at the bottom, the license expiration and the inspection sticker expiration. When using these fields, this will give you alerts when these things are expiring, so that make it easier to keep track of. I'm just going to leave everything plain. I'm just going to enter the truck number, and I'm going to leave the other information blank for now. And then remember to click Save. You should then see your truck show up in the truck window. And it's just that simple. Then you can move on.